South African energy crisis in the headlines, Musk in hot water over his tweets just before the Tesla earnings tomorrow evening, and is Bitcoin in a dead cat bounce? Well, Warren Buffett seems to think so. All coming up right now. This is Pounds for Breakfast. Good morning and welcome, guys. This is Pounds for Breakfast on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Now, we have a ton to discuss, a lot in the news, and we're going to start off on the local front with South African news. Now, again, Eskom and the energy sector remains dominant on our headlines, so let's just quickly give it a look. The biggest risk to the new energy deal is that the ANC itself could potentially derail this whole deal. Now, this is obviously of great concern to every single one of us as South Africans, something we need to take quite seriously, but we'll continue to monitor the story and we'll give you guys updates on this. But looking in international news, Elon Musk continues and remains in hot water over his series of tweets regarding taking Tesla private. Now, there's a bunch of controversy around that in terms of the Saudi fund essentially getting involved and the tweet appearing just ahead of that news breaking. And again, this is obviously unfortunate due to the fact that tomorrow evening we have the Tesla earning call. Now remember, stay tuned for that. If you are a Premium Plus member, meaning having more than $1,000 in your live account, we are having a trade-a-thon tomorrow evening, which means we have a couple hours together to not only sit in on the earnings call and discuss other market structures, but it's just a really great time. You guys know what it's all about. So again, not an ideal time for Tesla and Elon to be in court, but it is what it is. Now, in news around the world from a crypto perspective, Warren Buffett does believe that crypto is going to come to a very bad end. Now, we've seen some gains in the crypto space over the past couple of days, primarily over Bitcoin. However, Warren Buffett believes that this is a dead cat bounce. This is nothing more than getting a few more people excited. Now, again, this comes in a little bit of a contrast where we're starting to see that banks themselves are rolling out digital currencies, and we see some titans of industry speaking against it, saying, this is not going to have any good ending. Now, again, this is for us to decide, for us to look deeper into, but I'd love to know your opinion. What do you think the future of crypto as a whole? Are you holding any coins? Are you trading any coins? I would love to know. Drop that down in the comments below, and based on the comments, we will start to analyze more on the crypto space. And if there's anything particular that you're interested in, please, we'd love to hear your feedback down below, and we'll take that into consideration moving forward. However, we are going to be keeping a very close eye on crypto as a whole, but specifically having a look at Bitcoin. However, there's a ton of opportunities this morning that I do want to discuss and we do want to get into. But before we go ahead and do that, let's just start off and jump straight into some of those fundamentals this morning. Having a look at the S&P 500 heat map this morning, we can see the market ended mostly in the green yesterday. If you're with us as part of the New York Stock Exchange Open, we saw an immediate impulse towards the downside, and now we saw massive pushes, bull moves towards that top side. Now I'm going to show you some charting and some very interesting opportunities. And the big question is, are we in the next massive bull run that is starting very early in 2023? We're going to check it out. We're going to jump straight into it. But before we get there, let's just touch on the economic calendar today. We have a ton of opportunities across the board, mostly isolated around the pound and isolated around the euro. So starting off, the first item this morning is going to be at 11:30. We have some PMI data coming out for the pound. We're then following up with manufacturing PMI. European Central Bank President Lagarde is speaking again at 11:45, and that is the morning dominated by the pound. Late this evening, we have the New Zealand CPI fourth quarter that is coming out at about quarter to 12 this evening, GMT +2. So fairly smooth sailing. Again, we are going to be looking for opportunities this afternoon around the euro, around the pound. So you want to stick around and stay tuned for that. However, we are going to be focusing this morning. There's some massive opportunities on commodities that appear to have a breakout, also on indices. So let's give that a quick look and let's just jump straight in and have a look at what we're looking at. Okay, so first thing to note, when we start this analysis, we need to understand the dollar is in a state of weakness, and this is causing these correlations across the board. You may be asking, why when we look at this analysis, are we seeing a bunch of bull runs? And again, that is due to the weighting of the dollar. The dollar has such a big effect on the market that when the dollar has weakness, we start to see these breakout formations across the board. So let's jump straight in. And as always, you know the drill. We're going to start off with that dollar index. So let's jump in and let's have a look at where we sit there. Beautiful. So as you guys know, and as we've seen in previous days, if you're part and parcel of a live trading session yesterday, we spoke about this briefly, but the dollar index is currently sitting and has broken down below that period of support, right? Again, this is just coming off the highs of all those interest rates increases that we saw over the course of last year. The dollar was doing extremely well. To my left-hand side behind my head is the bull run for 2022. End of 2022, we started to see this decline on the dollar, and we're seeing that decline extend further lows towards the downside, and this is creating immense opportunities across the board. Now yesterday when we looked at Nasdaq, I explained on a daily time frame there is a massive opportunity for a potential breakout, right? And again, should this materialize, we have an opportunity here to take a long-term swing trade, meaning a period of days, weeks, or months holding into this bull run. Now having a look at yesterday's move, we can see that we got that initial push through. We need to see if markets will pull down, give us an area of support, and that retest will give us a clear entry towards a long opportunity on the Nasdaq. Now really quickly, moving into US30 and just a recap of yesterday's moves, I just want to show you guys this really quickly. We saw yesterday that we had that initial bear move, and I'm going to dive into that in a second. We had that bear move open up for us yesterday. Here was our bear move. So we saw markets immediately start to break and immediately just crossed that area of support, broke support, and we took that bear rally, bear movement towards the downside. Now it was a quick 1,200 pip move, but then ultimately markets reversed subsequently, and we started to get that increased volume. Remember, as I've taught you guys, from 5 o'clock we get an increased volume, a second wave, if you will, and that second wave pushed a massive bull run for a couple thousand pips. Now looking at where we sit overall, and again considering that daily time frame, we can see that if we have a look closer on a technical level, we can also see here, and if you just look past the Fibonacci, that we've also crossed a daily resistance level, meaning that if US30 holds out above this level, we may very well be in an opportunity to see that next high, to see a continuation and extension of this breakout that we already had from a bear perspective, right? We had a massive bear run over 2022. We started that breakout process. We've retested several times, and we now very might well be in the next massive bull rally stage of this trade setup. Now, looking at gold really quickly, as we dive in a little bit closer, gold with other commodities are also experiencing a massive uplift. And again, this is all going to be pinned on the weaker dollar. So gold is continuing to make these new highs. We are facing a triple top at the moment. So I would be looking to try and take advantage of gold should we start getting into a situation where we could start to see a little bit of pullback off this section and a retest somewhere along the lines of this support level. Now we will utilize potentially Fibonacci in this instance, just to make sure where that retest might end up becoming available to us, right? We might see a retest as low down as at 61.8, and that would represent $1,922 per ounce. So that is something we do need to keep an eye on. But again, these are all available to you in our back office. So again, if you have a Globex 360 live trading account, then if you go into your back office, you're going to see a slot of opportunities available to you. And just going through a couple of them would be the fact that WTI, West Texas Industries Oil, as well as Brent, is showing price action breakouts towards that top side. Now, showing you what that looks like on the chart is super simple. Having a look first at Brent, we can clearly see that this bear momentum is starting to slow down towards the downside, right? We've got a push. We've got a low, we don't have a low, and we're starting to get that breakout formation. So we're starting to see that sellers are running thin towards that downside, and we now have opportunities towards the top side for a breakout, just as we've shown you right there from a price action perspective. Again, having a look really quickly at WTI, the very similar type of price action formation, right? We've stopped making lower lows. We've got a broad triple bottom here, and we're starting to see that breakout momentum. So again, our focus is going to be on taking advantage of this dollar weakness and seeing if indices and commodities can continue that rally towards that top side. Now, you definitely want to be part and parcel of this afternoon's dollar for lunch, because we're going to have a look at when the New York Stock Exchange opens. Do we see the markets side with us from a dollar weakness perspective, and can we take advantage of some rallies in the markets across the board as we continue to see that dollar lose value holistically and across the board? So guys, you definitely don't want to miss out. Again, as always, if you have a Globex 360 live account, log into your back office. There is a ton of features and benefits that is only offered right here at Globex 360. Again, I will see you guys also afternoon for dollars for lunch, and again, we are going to be trading the New York Stock Exchange at 4:15. We will be live. Now, again, we are sending notifications directly into your MetaTraders. You also will receive an email, and the link is available to you in your back office as well. So you have 3 ways of accessing the content. But again, if you're not in our Telegram group, down below, hit the join button. If you'd like to direct message me, again, my link and my handle is the first link right there. You're welcome to send me a direct message. Outside of that, guys, I will see you all this afternoon. You know the drill. As always, remember to live, learn, and trade the Globex 360 way. I'll see you all a little bit later. Goodbye.